Have you done true vibe coding before? You can be honest with me. The idea is pretty cool, but the results are sometimes kind of meh. I mean, it feels amazing to flaunt how fast you built this project, but is the goal really to build a bunch of throwaway prototypes? Or is the goal to actually build something useful? Because I've been watching this debate explode all over across Twitter and developer communities, and there is something massive that everyone is missing. This isn't just about coding styles, this is about the future of how humans are going to work with AI. Because on one side, you've got Andrej Karpathy, who coined the term vibe coding, where you fully just give in to the vibes and you forget that the code even exists. But on the other side, you've got engineers that are warning about the dangers of AI-generated code that you frankly just don't understand. But here's what I discovered after diving deep into both of these approaches. Everyone thinks they have to choose between fast and broken or slow and reliable. But that's not necessarily true. There is this third way that's quietly taking over production systems, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand why context engineering is about to make this entire debate obsolete. So let me show you exactly what is happening here. Vibe coding, as defined by Karpathy himself, is where you just describe what you want in natural language, and you let these AI tools like Cursor and Replit and Lovable just build everything out for you. You don't need to read the code, you don't need to debug traditionally, you can just iterate the conversation because that's what the vibes are. And look, these demos are genuinely impressive. You can build a fully functioning web app in minutes, and it does sometimes feel like magic. But the problem is what happens next. The truth is, vibe coding is fantastic for prototypes and simple applications, but it will break down when you need reliability, security, and maintainability. Here's the thing, MIT Review did a research that while vibe coding can make simple digital products super quickly, it is far riskier when systems are complex and the stakes are much higher. Because here's the thing, when something breaks, and trust me, it will break, you will be stuck. You didn't write the code, you don't understand the architecture, and you're asking AI to just fix it. And honestly, that creates more problems than it solves. Now, traditional development, though, on the other hand, is completely different. Every line of code is understood, every line of code is tested and documented. But honestly, in this AI era, that feels incredibly slow. And while being the purest of an engineer, people are shipping way faster than before. But what if I told you the most successful AI implementations aren't either one of these approaches? They're using something called context engineering. And here's the key difference. Instead of just prompting AI and hoping for the best or avoiding AI entirely, context engineering is about systematically designing what information and what tools you give AI to ensure reliable results. Context engineering is the discipline of building dynamic systems that will provide AI with everything it needs to accomplish and make these tasks efficiently. This means it's not about writing clever prompts, it's about architecting these entire information environments. All right, so time for the big question. How does context engineering actually work? Let me give you a super simple example. You want to build a user login for your app. With vibe coding, you just go, hey, AI, build me this login, and cross your fingers and hope it works. And of course, with traditional development, you write every single line of code. But with context engineering, you give the AI your database setup, how you handle errors, your security rules, basically everything it needs to know about your code base or your idea. But then you ask it to build the login after it has all that context. Think about it when you have a new member join your team. You don't just throw them into the code base and tell them to figure it out. You're going to show them how things work first. But here's the thing, how do you actually do this? Simple. I create what I call context documents. Before I write any code, I will sit down with AI and I will workshop the entire feature. Now, what does it need to do? How should this work? What are the edge cases? How does it fit with everything else I've built? I will get all of that information into one solid document. And then I take that document to my coding assistant and it actually understands what I want and how I want it built. Quick note with all this talk of context engineering and how important it is. This is exactly why I'm building Precursor. Because here's the thing about context engineering. The biggest challenge isn't understanding the concept, it's actually implementing it. You need to create comprehensive context documents that give AI systems everything they need to work efficiently with your code base. But most developers don't know how to either structure these documents or they will spend hours manually creating them, only to have them get out of sync with their code base or not even be the right feature that they wanted. So that's why I'm building Precursor. To solve this problem exactly, it will help developers and builders automatically generate and maintain the context documents that make AI coding actually reliable. And instead of manually writing all this documentation, Precursor will workshop with you to create these structured contexts that AI tools need to understand your code and your patterns and your requirements. And right now we have an early access waitlist. Go ahead and check it out in the description below. Now, back to our authentication example. The entire AI builds code that actually works from my system. It's not some random generic code. It is my patterns, my database, my way of doing things. And that's why this beats both other approaches you get in the speed of vibe coding, but the reliability of doing it right. The best developers aren't picking sides in this war. They're just being smart about how they use AI as an actual tool. Because at the end of the day, context engineering is the new vibe coding. But unlike vibe coding, it's actually working for production systems. It gives you the speed and the creativity of AI assistants with the reliability and understanding of engineered solutions. And if you want to stay relevant in this AI era, you need to master context engineering. The developers learning this now will have massive advantages over both the vibe coders building throwaway prototypes and the traditional developers getting left behind. And I'll link the best context engineering resources that I've found in the description below. And of course, if you want to learn more about these documents I use for context engineering, go ahead and check out this video right over here, and I'll see you over there.